Hello everybody. We're back at it. Sorry, I was gone for 2 weeks. I was feeling very overworked and did not have the energy to do a 3-hour stream. But I'm back. I woke up with a very sore shoulder. I almost canceled again, but I was like, I can't do that 3 weeks in a row. That's ridiculous. So we're muscling through it. Okay, so I've been reading all of the chat, and I know. Put the cloth back on the mic. Sorry. I've been reading the chat, and I know that we are doing cryptids. And I was thinking of just doing the not deer for Hazel, since she is a deer. Easy peasy. And I saw that Luke really wanted Griff to basically be a werewolf. And then there's a lot of different options for Russell that are coming out. And I was excited for Mothman, but it looks like Jasper vetoed that. Hope your vacation was well. Thank you. It was basically just 2 days where I wasn't working and was catching up on some chores. Yeah, so let's hop into it. I'm gonna start with Hazel since that's the easier one to jump in with. Okay. So this is gonna be kind of a weird mix of the Graycove style and just trying to figure out what I'm doing. So I feel like this doesn't look like Graycove. I know, I'm doing my best. Use my words. I'm trying. It's really hard to keep up with this chat. You guys are going off. Chupacabra for Griff. That's fun. Looks like Hazel is just vertical. Yeah, and creepier. Alright, everyone needs to 200 times faster here, Marshall. Listen, trying to look at a reference picture and look at a chat at the same time and listen to the many critiques of Jasper trying to fix my setup all at once is really hard, alright? I'll give her usual stuff that she's wearing, her earrings, her necklace. Still has to kind of be Hazel. Because of the vibe, this is going to be the only one that we add color to. Just very roughly. We're not gonna go too crazy with it since we only have so much time per stream. But just to make this look a little bit creepier. Mothman Griff. If Graycove characters were cars, do you think Hazel would be a female version of the hippie van from the Cars movie? I don't particularly remember the hippie van because I haven't watched Cars since I was a kid, I think. So it's been quite a while. But probably. And we're just gonna do this very, very roughly. Thought we agreed Hazel was a forklift. Alright, it looks like Griff is gonna be Mothman. I'm glad someone got Mothman. I was hoping it'd be Russell, but I'll take Griff, that's fine too. Forklift is what I'm gonna name our first child. No. No, he's not. I told him we could name a cat Forklift, and that's it. These are terrible hoops, but that's fine. We're keeping it simple. Do you have a favorite part of character design / creation? Yeah, I think I really like the initial stage when you're kind of just playing around with ideas. Your drawings are a lot kind of just simple and loose. You're not really getting into like the details and editing and like, you know, when you're getting like really nitpicky with everything. To me, it's the more fun stage of the process where you kind of just get to experiment. Oh, I'm going to keep forgetting. There it is. So yeah, I think that part Yeah, this looks like something that would be terrifying to run into in the woods. Perfect. Don't forget to give her not deer chompers. Sure, I can do that. I was gonna leave it at this, but this is a fun direction. If Griff, Hazel, and Russell fought in World War II, what would their jobs be in the army? That's so specific, and that's making the assumption that I know different jobs required in World War II in different positions. However, now that I say that, Russell would have been one of the Canadians committing war crimes with cans of food with grenades in them. And that's the only one I feel positive about. I think you're projecting, LOL. Nah, no. He's the crime guy, and that's the only crime from a not Nazis that I can think of from World War II, because I don't know that much about it off the top of my head because I haven't been in high school for many years. Okay. There we go. So there is Hazel, and I believe we said Griff was gonna be Mothman. Oh, Jasper was talking to Luke. Oh, my bad. Okay. Well, I'm with Jasper. I think Jasper said Griff would be a foot soldier. Jesus, I can talk. And yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Let me pull up a picture of Mothman real quick. Just to get that classic drawing pose. Hazel most likely would be a medic. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I agree. She would probably take a medic position. Okay. We're gonna first put the classic Mothman pose, and then we're gonna Griffify it. Hazel just out here stabbing people with trench knives for sure. Yeah. Just started reading your comic over on webcomics and I'm loving it. I hope you mean Webtoon, because I haven't posted it anywhere called webcomics, and if it is on a website called webcomics, that would be theft. But I'm assuming that you mean Webtoon, because I don't think I've seen one called just webcomics before, but thank you! That's very nice of you. Yeah, Webtoon, okay, that's good. But thank you, that's nice to hear. These aren't really moth-like wings. I don't know why this is the classic Mothman pose. That's okay. These are more bird wings than anything. Webcomics does exist, but we are not on there. Yeah. It's almost 2 a.m. here. Brain is misfiring. It's only 6 p.m. here and my brain is misfiring, so it is a-okay. Okay, I guess we'll just slap on a Griff face. This is gonna be a cursed image. And I guess we could try turning his ears into those weird, like, moth fuzzy ones. Something like this. I don't know. Marshall, please consider Pipe Fox Russell being coiled around Mothman Griff. I don't think they have that kind of relationship, but I'll consider the Pipe Fox Russell part. Okay, let's actually move this onto a separate layer from Hazel. Can I just say really quick that it meant the world to me that you two found and reviewed my comic. That made my day and encouraged me to keep going on it. My family and friends thought that was so cool. Yeah, happy to, dude. You've been posting about it for a while and you said that it was inspired by Graycove, so it only felt right to at least, you know, go take a look, and I think you're doing a great job so far, so keep it up. Man, I really like your characters in this style. Yeah, I don't know what this style is. It's me messing around and finding out, I guess. Okay. I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit. And he doesn't really look like Mothman right now, so I'm gonna slap some color onto him as well, just so it comes through a little bit better, a little clearer. And it doesn't look like it just made Griff into a weird bird hybrid. Now draw Russell eating a chicken sandwich like the painting Saturn devouring its son with no beak. Give him red eyes like Mothman? Yeah, of course. Did you just pull it up with like the little green icon button thing next to my account? I don't think I ever posted a link. Yeah, I don't know how Jasper found it. I just remember Jasper being like, hey, Luke posted his webcomic, so you should take a look, and I just went through Webtoon. I was like, there he is. You talked about it in the community page, so what if you start posting? That's fair. Pipe Fox wrestles the winner? Sounds good. Okay. Because Mothman is just kind of one solid dark color, I'm just going to use Griff's the darkest color in his color palette. And I think that should work well. You kind of just drew edgy angel Griff. Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. That's why I figured I have to color his as well. It's the same thing with Hazel's. She would just look like a weird standing deer otherwise. The coloring is what makes cryptid and horror art. Bigger red eyes, yeah. That'll be on last. We have to fill them in first with the darker color. And yeah, we're just gonna do this really roughly. Fit this in a bit. Is this from something specific or is it just a general vibe? The Mothman part or the characters part or the stream in general? Because the characters are from Tales from Graycove and the cryptids are from being cryptids. I don't know the source of cryptids. Or at least these individual ones, but... give him that. Give him the red. I'll give him a little bit more. More details while I wait for you guys to vote. Although I guess I have to do Russell next. Yeah, let's do this really quickly. That doesn't work. It's fine. Amphibia art style. Oh, I love the Amphibia art style. In college, we had to do a background art drawing, and we had to take our home kitchen, which at the time I was living in this really tiny studio apartment, and we had to change it into the art style of a TV show. So I did an Amphibia version of my kitchen, and it was one of my favorite projects from the entire class. It was so fun. There we go. Mothman Griff. Okay. And then Pipe Fox Russell coming up. I'm pretty sure I'm not actually changing anything. Besides the fact that his neck just won't end. Yeah, pretty much exactly that. Long horse but fox. Yeah, and Pipe Fox doesn't look like it's supposed to be like creepy the way Long Horse is. So we're just gonna he's gonna be the one goofy one next to the two creepy ones. Question, should we draw Pipe Fox Russell with his pipe? We will now. Graycove characters as slime molds growing around their structure. Marshall took art history, I'm sure they can manage. Yeah, but that was quite a while ago, and my memory is a little... Oh, Lilo and Stitch experiments would have been really fun. You should pull that one again, Jasper, after this. Graycove characters as potatoes craving the soil. I don't care for that. Graycove characters as the abstract concepts of different elementary particles. Okay. Graycove but in 3D. That would require a lot of shading and highlights, and I don't know if you guys, if we have the time for that. Hey, Dr. Dro. Thanks for joining us. You heard it here, folks. Lilo and Stitch Experiments is number 3. I mean, you could still poll it. We're still doing what the chat wants to do, I'm just saying. Graycove D&D. The trio is Christopher Robin's stuffed animals in Winnie the Pooh. Oh, that sounds so cute. I don't think we'd see his tufts from this angle. I'll just keep it like that. Is this a Russell Pipe Fox? Yes. I am now campaigning to make Marshall draw 3 tiny hazy dots to satisfy our subatomic fundamental particle themed Graycove needs for the foreseeable future. Okay. Just for you, Luke. Here's Griff. Here's Hazel. Here's Russell. I hope that satisfies the want, I guess. That was the quickest one yet. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do for the classical art one, if I'm being honest. My memory from classical art is very hazy. It was supposed to be art from all over the world, and it ended up being art from a lot of the same countries that all revolved around the same religion, which was a little disappointing because I was hoping to see stuff from other cultures that are not referenced everywhere. There were some cool parts though. I went the wrong way with the tufts and the rough sketch. That's funny. There we go. Saturn eating his son for chicken, or for Russell with chicken sandwich, of course. Of course. Yeah, let me find that. Herb eating his son. That would be messed up. I'm with you on the creepiness of it, but I'm not trying that. Alright, there we go. We have some cryptids for them. Russell's isn't creepy, so he doesn't really need the creepy lighting to back him up. But let me just put this all into a file. And hide it away. So we can move on to the next one, which is gonna be Russell just going to town on a chicken sandwich. Okay, so original picture, posture. I'm just gonna do a very quick figure drawing of the painting. The proportions, especially in the leg, are very strange. The leg on the left is quite odd. I mean, it's a strange painting in general, obviously, but we're just gonna do this. And then because these are human proportions and not Russell proportions, we're gonna have to make the head way bigger. Oh, I shouldn't change that. And then he's got the crazy eyes going on, because he's just really into this chicken. Oh, anyways, another classical art idea is Griff looming over a bag of powdered donuts like the Cyclops by Redon. Let's see, or Redon? I don't know who that is. Let me look that up. Oops, spelled that wrong. Oh, that's a very unnerving painting. Like, I have mixed feelings about this painting. It's beautifully made, the colors are wonderful, but it's very unnerving to look at. Okay, back to this chicken sandwich. So do we need a new one, or can we do the powder donuts one? I mean, the Cyclops one will work. Okay, gotta make these more Russell-like proportions. I recently got gifted a Huion tablet for my birthday, but it refuses to work right unless I connect a second monitor. Well, that's annoying. You might be able to reach out to Huion and ask them for some fixes, and they might have something that could help. I don't really know. But I know connecting tablets can sometimes be a really big pain. That sandwich is kind of small for someone a Russell size. That's a good point. He would probably make a Russell size sandwich for himself, but I could make it bigger. Go. Russell size sandwich. Girl with a pearly earring, but she has a mouthful of edibles. That's funny. Girl with a pearly earring, but she's just blazed. You have no idea how hard it is to keep these in check. LOL, you guys are like a gaggle of geese trying to put forks in the outlet. Can you do Hazel's one of those medieval paintings of dogs that just look like a man? I can try. Dolly's clock painting, but it's just the deer family all melted and droopy cartoonishly. That's pretty funny. I remember in one of the art programs I did, I think it was the fine arts certificate program in college, we had to recreate like famous paintings, drawings, etc. Like as practice, and I did one of, I think it was the Melted Clock by Dolly, but it was all pencil sketching and like shading with graphite, and it took forever. But it turned out pretty good, I think, from what I remember. Although it was long enough ago, if I looked at it now, I might be like, oh, that's garbage. Draw the beak on the floor. You got it. How are you able to just draw off rip so fast? That's a very unique talent. Yeah, just like Jasper said, it's many, many, many years of practice. The fine arts program I did was really good for that as well, because they would give an extreme amount of homework with very short deadlines, so you'd be, if you didn't learn how to do things fast, you wouldn't pass the class. And like most of the drawings and paintings were also like large. So like having to use just graphite for, you know, an entire piece where you're going in and you're shading everything. My favorite one that we made was called a dreamscape. And essentially it was supposed to look kind of like surrealism. So she gave us a piece of paper and there were different lines, and one would have like insects, animals, something something. Another one would have like window, door, desk, like just random objects, and you kind of had to select one from each column. So I did, I think, insects, window, train, and something else I can't remember. So I did a fun scenery of like a demon sitting and having tea in the woods next to a window with like fireflies up in the branches in the tree, and like there was a ton of shading. Like it took me hours and hours and hours, but I'm still like very happy with how that one turned out. There are a couple of things I would do different now, like at the time, you know, you just need to get it done because it's an assignment, but that one turned out pretty cool. This is ridiculous drawing. He's just really into that chicken, I guess. I am back now. Oh wow, Russell looks hungry. Make sure to place a food object of great desire next to her. I didn't even see. What are we doing for Hazel? I completely missed that. Oh, right. Medieval dog. Okay. Let's move Russell over there. And just give me a moment to look up a really cursed medieval dog painting. Oh man, this is gonna be awful. Alright. Cursed Middle Ages Hazel incoming. Okay. I don't know the best way that I should do this. Okay, this is gonna be awful. It's moments like these of making really horrible cursed drawings that I have to remember that I'm a professional artist who gets paid for their work. Okay, this is fine. I miss drawing the bluey one. This one's bringing me psychological pain. The fun thing about drawing eyes is that if you don't do them correctly, or if you do them incorrectly on purpose, the more detail that you add to them, the worse they get, and the creepier they look. And because those medieval drawings always have a lot of shading on them, we're just going to do some basic cross-hatching just to really have it haunt your dreams later. do this? Okay, excellent. Are you kidding me? This Hazel is a cutie. I'm gonna assume that that is sarcasm, and if not, maybe talk to someone about that. Just blend it in. I can't, I can't express how much I hate this drawing. Okay. There we go. Time to do the next one. Okay. Excellent. We're gonna do Griff next. Being a Cyclops, looking at I think the suggestion was looking at powdered donuts because of that one short. Why would you shade it? Because I'm a professional? I just knew it'd make it worse. Wait, you forgot her food? I don't know what she'd be eating. Children's souls, maybe? Grilled cheese. Honeydew. That's just squares on a plate, sure. Something like this. Put a shroom on her head. Honeydew tastes like the souls of the damned. Sure. Marshall slams a knife on a table and says to us, "The things we have seen today shall never leave the confines of this live chat." This is going up on the internet. This is gonna be on YouTube. This is available for anyone to see, I guess, forever until we take it down. Also, funny enough, I do have a knife next to me. It is my favorite one. It was missing for a long time. I found it in my car. Anyways. There's our honeydew. Moving on. Just merge that down. And we can get rid of the old Russell sketch. Time for Griff. Okay. Position in this one, it's kind of like this. Not quite. It has a very like subtle tilt to the head. And then it kind of goes like this. So the shoulders would be about here. Dude, the beak on the ground is so funny. Please don't make it members only. We probably won't do that. I don't really want to, like, lock anything away behind a paywall. Like, we have the ads on Webtoon. If you're a coffee member, you can see pages like a week early, but ultimately, if you don't have the money to, you know, to put towards Graycove, that's perfectly fine. Eventually, it'll be up for you to see. We don't want to put up a paywall for people. That feels a little meh, you know? So the only thing that we really do is we have a coffee membership. If you want to see it early, you can. If you don't want to see it early, you can wait a week. It'll be up on Webtoon anyways. It'll be behind an ad, but like, ads are free to watch. The only thing they cost is your time. But yeah, we don't want to lock Graycove away behind a paywall. So yeah, we're not going to be doing members only stuff, most likely. Ignoring what Marshall says currently, we want to start a Patreon, but the mandatory minimum is $5. What else could we give you guys at the $5 tier on Patreon? And also for $5+ on coffee? Yeah, so like we have like Patreon, or we have like coffee stuff, but like, again, for the Webtoon, you'll see it eventually, and like the only other stuff that like we have on there that's like extras is like some concept art and stuff like that, but like if you want to read the comic, you can, you know? And we don't want to take that away from anyone. So yeah, there might be like extra stuff and like behind the scenes stuff behind a membership, but none of the comic stuff, none of the main stuff would be there. Or even then, it might be like, oh, we posted there, it'll be up for like 2 weeks, and then we post it for the public to see anyways, you know? Okay, and this is Cyclops, so Griff is gonna be a Cyclops. Just really eyeing up some... I think someone else said a grilled cheese. Oh, I don't care for that. Normally the fur pattern is like this, but that doesn't really work, so I guess we'll just do that, and then the nose will be its own color. Although we're not coloring it, so. Have you thought about merch? We have thought about merch. One of the problems is that getting merch created and printed and then having to do the shipping yourselves, that part of it is time consuming, with time not being on my side, because I do this, but I also do other work, like for Red Pants Productions, so I don't have a ton of time. And then there's also a risk in getting merch printed, and then if it doesn't sell, then you're stuck with all of this stuff, you know, and you just lost all of that money that you invested into it. And we don't really have a ton of disposable income at the moment, so I wouldn't really feel comfortable with taking that risk. But I might look at like Redbubble or something again, where they do all of the printing on their end. I did it once before, like years ago. I haven't really looked into it since then, and I remember not being super fond of the quality of the stuff. So, I don't know. There's a couple different options. Yeah, we just spent $600 on groceries today because we needed to do a big grocery run. So we haven't done that in a long time. And I spent almost $200 on snake care stuff. Because, like, Aster's tank needs to be cleaned. He needed some more rats. He needed a new sensor for the hydration in the air of his tank. Just a bunch of different stuff. A new light bulb for his tank because the other one burnt out and I used my spare one, so I needed a new spare one. And yeah, just all the fun stuff. That does not look like a grilled cheese sandwich. What am I doing? Here, that looks more like a grilled cheese. Not a good grilled cheese, but solid enough. I hate the hazelnut so much. Add powdered donuts to the grilled cheese sandwich. Alright. I'll put one powdered donut, which I can't really express through this because they're kind of just round. And I'm using pencil and it'll be stuck in with a fancy toothpick. There we go. Okay. Wait, y'all make him smoke cigarettes if he doesn't eat his sketty? Yeah, no, that was his snake father. We're responsible parents. We feed him frozen thawed rats. Okay. And now we're gonna do a fun one, because that one made me upset. Specifically Hazel. I did not like her. So Lilo and Stitch are next, and that's the one I was really looking forward to. Let me just look up some of the Lilo and Stitch experiments. Okay, and I just need to take a quick look to try and identify some of the key characteristics with Lilo and Stitch characters. So, a wide variety of experiments. I only ever watched, I think the first and second movie. I know that there's a TV show, but I never really got into it when I was a kid. But this is a lot. Oh my god. Okay, I think I'm gonna start with Russell because I feel like he'll be the easiest one. Okay. Let's just jump into it and see what I can do. Okay, Russell's kind of longer snout. They usually have pretty big round noses. Okay. And some of them do have cheek fluff, so that's good. But they're not quite as big as I usually draw them, so just do nice little subtle cheek fluff. I don't like that line. Oh, it's skinnier. Yeah. And then you can have some teeth sticking out. And then I think I'm going to give him a little bit longer of a body than he usually has. And I'm going to move him over a bit because I'm going too close to the corner, which is a bad habit. Okay, and then the ears. It's quite a variety, but they follow kind of a similar shape. So I'll give him the classic shape, I'll just make them a bit bigger. Okay, some of them do have eyebrows. Yeah, we'll keep the shape, and then we'll add a little. We always have highlights, so we'll add that as well. Okay, they usually have pretty stubby looking legs. Kinda like that. I see a variety of feet, so I'm just gonna cut. And let's do this. And then I kind of want to give Russell the like double arms that some of them have and that Stitch has during part of it, or like he can make appear and disappear. Since he's a little thief and all. He's planning schemes. Okay, what do they usually do for tails? Not really seeing a ton with tails. It looks like they kind of like Stitch just has like a little like bear tail nubbin. I don't know what you'd call that. Yeah, this one will just go with his usual one. We'll just make it a little bit skinnier than normal. I really like the roundness of this art style. I think I remember seeing a style guide from the movie that they made for the characters, and a lot of it is just like circles everywhere. They're very round. Okay, second set of arms. How many books from 1870 have you read? I've read quite a few poems from 1870 because I had an English, like a classic literature course in high school. But that's about it. Marshall's been reading Sappho. Sappho's great. Want to buy myself a copy of The Lottery. If you mean Shirley Jackson's Lottery, I don't think that's something you can buy a copy of since it's a short story, but she has quite a few collections that are really good. I loved reading The Haunting of Hill House. And I think it was What We Do in the Castle? I'm blanking on the name. But yeah, she's a really good author. I like her writing a lot. Oh my god, I love I love Lilo and Stitch Russell. He's so cute. He doesn't really look like Russell right now, but I think if we took the time to color him, that would fix it. Okay. So Griff is next. And how do I want to approach drawing him? He's a much more of a like square character. And again, this art style is mostly circles and ovals and round shapes. Yeah, I think I'll just jump in, give it my best shot. I should probably shrink Russell down a little bit. Torso's longer than normal Russell. He'd probably be happy about that. Yeah, I did that on purpose. I thought that would be fun. Okay, let's just start with some basic shapes to get us going. His snout will be a lot shorter and stubbier than Russell's. I think we'll give him rounder eyes. I don't know, I always want to start drawing in the corners and then I always end up having to move things. Okay, he's gonna be squatter than Russell is. Pepper, I think Marshall would say the first one or a mix, and I would say the second one. What? What did I miss? Is it best to be taught art or to play on your own and find what looks best, or a mix of both? Personally, I think it's a mix of both. There's a couple times I've gone into art classes and I've gone in with, you know, a bit too much like overconfidence of being like, well, like it's a color theory class, but like I know about color theory and like it's not that complicated. I feel like I don't need to take a whole class on this. But I feel like no matter what, any art class I've ever taken, there's always something new in it and some new form of exploration that I hadn't considered or hadn't put the time into doing and ended up enjoying. So I think it's a mix of both. It's good to exercise and practice in your own time and find things that you like the style of personally, but I think it's also really good. It's really good for you to take classes and try different art styles, try different mediums you haven't explored with before, even if they're ones that you don't necessarily like. Like for myself, I absolutely hate working with any kind of pastels or charcoals because I have sensory issues, and having to use them on paper, like it just makes me grind my teeth, and like I hate the process, but the look of it at the end can be very rewarding, so sometimes it's worth just kind of muscling through. So I hope that answered your question. But every single art teacher that you meet is going to have different advice for you, so like, you know, any advice I give you, you should question. And every art teacher is going to have their own thoughts about different types of art. So I remember in high school, like the art teacher hated fan art and hated anime art and anything like that, and some of the people in the class really liked doing that, so it's kind of a bummer. And I think finding what you like and using that to help motivate you can be really helpful, but it's good to explore, you know, a variety. You can make self mannequins by wrapping yourself in duct tape. Okay, apparently I missed a lot. I did help a friend do that in high school though, and it works surprisingly well. I think Griff would have the little clawed feet that some of them have. And he's kind of grumpy, so we'll have him fold in his arms. We did a chat, Marshall's lost. Thanks. I'll just get really short tail. Give him... I don't see any of the Lilo and Stitch characters with any form of like neck fluff, but that's okay. He can just have it anyways. Real question, in the Cars universe, there are people cars and animal cars. How would you tell the difference? I didn't know that there were animal cars. So that's news to me. I don't think I've seen any of the Cars movie except for the first one. Oops, I'm stuck with the pencil. So if it's shown in a different one, then I haven't seen it, but I didn't know that there were animal cars. I thought they were all just cars. Look at his big eyebrows. I'm not gonna lie, this is one that I kind of just want to fully draw, do line art, color. Like, this is fun. Okay. I need to get these two out of the way and make room for Hazel because she's gonna be tall. Let's shrink them down a little bit. There we go. Someone recommended we do finished versions of stream art as a Patreon benefit. Well, that could be a good idea. It wouldn't necessarily take me forever to do, which is nice because, like I said, time is it's a factor. Okay. And Hazel has a really, really, really big nose. So I think we're gonna go like this. Someone else said canon short stories, and I could write them for you at the rate of maybe 1 per month or something. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Because between the two of us, Jasper is definitely the writer. If there was a writing perk, he would have to take the brunt of that one. Oh my god, Hazel's already so cute. Oops. I'd probably only roll that one out if I could backlog like 6 or more ahead of time. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Sometimes I'm finishing up a page the evening before they have to go up on coffee, and it's a little stressful. Give her nice big ears. And she's gonna be very long. Let's see. Do any of them have long limbs, because mostly I'm seeing like the very short stubby limbs. Of course I want to be accurate. Okay, I think we'll give her short legs and slightly longer arms than the style usually calls for. Let's start with this one. Maybe Hazel's power says she stretches like Mr. Fantastic. I'll just give her two little claws instead of her hooves. And she just has a little itty bitty tail, unlike these other two. Clean up a little bit. Oh, the music stopped. Why did the music stop? Sorry about that. I forgot to click on the repeat button. That was my bad. It's back up. Yeah, I like these ones a lot. I think these ones are my favorites so far from all of the streams. They're just so cute. I might clean these up later. We'll see. Okay, so the next one I think was Christopher Robin. But I'm gonna take a quick break just to drink some water and read through the many messages I've been missing. So I will be right back. Okay, I am back, and now we're gonna do Winnie the Pooh themed characters. Got my references up, so let's just jump into it. Is this the... yeah, okay. I really liked the Lilo and Stitch one. Those ones were so cute. Okay, so how do I want to go about this? I think this is going to be... oh, oops. I think this one's going to be mostly me guessing on how to do this. Okay. Let's start with Russell. I think I'm gonna give him a similar head as the kangaroo mom. Similar face shape. Except then with cheek tufts. Kind of similar to the rabbits. I never really grew up with Winnie the Pooh, unfortunately. So I'm going just off of pictures. And I don't remember any of their names besides, like, Eeyore. It's kind of strange because some of them just have dots for eyes and some of them have full eyebrows. And for a second I thought it was that the stuffed animals are the only ones with dots for eyes, but Eeyore is a stuffed animal and he has fully drawn out eyes. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the full eyes because I usually do the dots in my own style, so that'll be fun. Yeah, okay, obviously I know Winnie because he's in the title, but like, he doesn't count because he's the basic. Rabbit, tiger, kangaroo, gopher. Okay. Oops. You know, obviously I know Winnie the Pooh. I said the name just a few minutes ago. That one goes without saying. Because, like, they're not all stuffed animals, right? Like, the rabbit and the owl are actually just animals, and the rest are stuffed animals. Correct? Or are they all stuffed animals? Okay. Their eyes are pretty big, actually. They're all stuffed animals in Christopher's room. Okay. But when they're real animals, he's playing with them, Calvin and Hobbes style. Okay. Because I thought some of them were actual animals, and I thought some of them were stuffed animals that were, like, similar to Calvin and Hobbes, just, like, coming to life periodically. Oh, right, and Piglet. I forgot about Piglet. Okay, and they have a couple different varieties of eyebrows. I think we'll go for the scratchier one. I was really excited about this art style, but I honestly think it might be the trickiest one so far, and I'm not sure why. Well, I haven't gotten that far yet, so maybe I should cool my jets a bit. Okay, none of them seem to have teeth. Okay, I think we'll get... The rabbit and the owl don't have matching stuffies. Okay, so they're just regular stuffed animals. I keep missing these streams. I finally managed to catch one. We've been gone for the last 2 weeks because I was tired. So you haven't missed very much, thankfully. We're currently doing the characters, or we're trying to draw the characters in the style of Winnie the Pooh, which I am doing my best, but they have a lot of variety of shapes, because I'm seeing like some of the characters don't have fingers at all. They just have like the mitten hands. But then Rabbit has like fully drawn out hands. He has 3 fingers and a thumb. And like I said earlier, some of them have like just the dots for eyes, and some of them have like fully drawn out like eyeballs, pupils, everything. So it's a strange mix. I don't like how this is going so far, but I'm in too deep. We're gonna make them more stuffed animal-like, so they're gonna have separated limbs with clear seam lines. Make them all stuffed animals? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm not a... Blacked out his eyes, the giant ones are freaking me out. Yeah, I'm not liking them either. It's not matching the vibe. This is getting out of hand now, there are 2 of them. Yeah, that's what happens when Jasper's logged into my account in the other room and is switching back and forth. There. I like that better. And not just because that's what I usually do for their eyes. Luke, is your hand still taped to the desk? Why are you taping your hand to the desk? I think his ear's a little bit bigger. Oh, because the other Marshall has arrived. How's it going, other Marshall? Asking a question about the chat that they claim to have been reading during the break. I read through some of it, but I was just kind of skimming. I was also drinking water. Okay. I like being the other Marshall. It doesn't typically happen. That's fair. I'm not used to there being a Marshall who's not a family member, so that's fun. Let's give him a little tail dragging along the ground. He's making a hand mold with tape, which is why we're talking about duct tape mannequins. Ah, okay. That's fair. Okay, if he's a stuffed animal, I don't think he would have the fluff. But I'll give him like the 2 segments that he usually has. And Tigger has whiskers, so we can give him them too. And a big belly patch. And we'll give him some little stitch marks. Because it looks like Kanga has them, so it's fine. Okay, let's shrink him down, move him over, and let's do Griff next. For him, we'll give him a head shape similar to Winnie, since they both have kind of a square shape to them. And we'll have him facing this way. Temples bleed a lot, I've learned. Crazy to see your bully cry, though. I think I missed the first part of that. That was in high school, I'm assuming, right? Okay, yeah. Just had to double check. It'd be a little weird if that was current day. We're grown adults. Elementary school, daycare, after school. Okay, good to know. I don't have to hunt anyone down. You can if you want. You got it. The eyebrows in the Winnie the Pooh style are kind of thinner, so we won't give him like the super big blocky eyebrows, but we'll still give him the little blocky eyebrows. You can if you want. He might still be a dink. I don't know. Okay, we'll talk after stream. Winnie the Pooh and his mortal enemy Lucy the Pea walks in. You know, stuffed Russell will be trying to sneak things in his folded ear, maybe even a loose seam in his tail stitching. That would be smart. We'll give him kind of blocky. No, I don't like that. It's interesting to think that these could technically be used as concept art for a Graycove plush campaign. Yeah, unfortunately plushes are a tricky one. We've looked into it a little bit, and they're either very, very expensive or from not ethical sources, which I'm not interested in ordering from. So yeah, plushies probably won't be a thing anytime soon, but maybe in the future. Okay. I think I still have the Russell skin fabric I was going to use before Hazel took us 16 hours and I decided you're only getting one. I mean, that could be a good idea for my birthday, I'm just saying. You have lots of time, it's so long way away. Raw bread, toast, raw bread. That feels worse. I feel like you have to do toast, raw bread, toast if you're gonna have just a bread sandwich, which is the most depressing meal I've ever heard of in my life. I'm like, I've had some pretty sad meals in my day, but yikes. You get some. Griffin Russell look very similar in this art style, but that's okay. Big bug patch. Okay, and then he also gets whiskers, but shorter ones that bristle. You can make the wolf look grumpy like how Eeyore is sad. Yeah, sure. He is the grumpy guy, so that's fair. Sorry, Luke. Griff does not get to feel happiness. There we go. That looks more like Griff anyways. Suggestion for Russell, can Asim be loose on his tail and stuff with human tech like walkie-talkie? Yeah, why not? We're just gonna have the antenna sticking out. We're not drawing a whole walkie-talkie. And maybe some fluff. Can the seam be loose on his tail and stuff with bugs like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas? Okay, well obviously I have to do that because I know that Nightmare Before Christmas is one of your favorite movies. And I know you like centipedes. We'll do centipede. I'm just drawing the one. Russell probably tries to help Pooh steal the money from the bee, or the honey from the bees. Probably. Okay, and then Hazel's gonna have more of a Tigger build since he's the only kind of tall, skinny one. But she'll have similar legs as these guys. Her neck won't be quite as long. The bugs keep people away from the walkie-talkies. Yeah, they're a security measure. I was thinking you're saying that about Griff and my mind was going to some very dark places. No, we're just talking about stuffed animal, Griff, don't worry. Security bugs, they got little guard outfits and everything. They're just the Hollow Knight drawings from the previous AU stream. They have their own walkie-talkies too. They're just little. Okay, make her ears kind of like rabbits. If I made Griff get bugs in his skin, you'd probably make me an actual centipede in your comic, Luke. Which, to be honest, I'd be okay with. Doesn't even have to be sentient. My arm has a foot-long centipede tattoo on it already. I was surprised that the character you named Marshall had to be the meanest character in your comic, Luke. Mostly because it was like, oh my god, how did he know? And I'm secretly mean. Please no, it's not like that, Marshall. That's okay. I didn't take any offense. I thought it was really funny. I don't know why, but Hazel looks just like the last Hazel. Yeah, they look really similar. The eyes are the biggest difference, I think. We'll give her some seams and stuff. In 100% honesty, it's a diff at Hazel because I really didn't like her at the start. I just needed a name. Fair enough. Well, these ones are okay. They're not my favorites so far. Obviously, my favorite is Lilo and Stitch because I won't stop saying that. I think Russell turned out the best out of the three. But they're cute. I don't think they're bad. I don't know if anyone would look at them and be like, oh, Winnie the Pooh. So I don't think I quite nailed the art style. But like I was complaining about, there's a lot of changes between each character, so it's kind of hard to follow a pattern with this one. But they're cute. They're looking good enough. Yeah, you guys didn't really do another poll And we're probably gonna be wrapping up here pretty soon. So we can either wrap up early, or I could continue working on one of these ones. Oops. Oh yeah, the cursed one. I don't like those. Graycove, but living inanimate objects like mimics. 1910s cartoon style. Did you color the Lilo and Stitch one? No, I only colored the first one that we did, so we did the Cryptid one first. And that's mostly because they wouldn't really look like creepy cryptids if I didn't color them. And then we had the horrible art history one. And then my favorite, which is Lilo and Stitch. Color the Russell Pipe Fox, please. Sure, well you guys figure out what we're doing. I'll give him some color. Oh, Allah's bird sounds fun. Daybean is the leader of Solarpunk Graycove. Sure. Side note to Jasper slash Marshall, have you actually seen or listened to the music by Griff, the music artist? I think I turned it on for exactly 3 seconds, but it's one of my least favorite genres of music, so I didn't last any longer than that. Okay. All as birds. I already know which bird I'm doing for Hazel. Because I have thought about it. But you guys decide what you think Russell and Griff should be while I start sketching this and looking up some references. Yeah, I didn't really care for it either, but didn't know Griff likes synthwave. Griff the character would not like synthwave. See ya, Grant. Thanks for joining us. I'm drawing this way too big. Griff as a hawk of your choosing. Nice. I was leaning towards hawk for him, so that works out nicely. Does Bird Hazel get glowing spots? Yeah, I think so, but they're not going to be in the same pattern. I think they're going to be in more of like a bird-ish pattern where they're kind of just scattered all over the place. I'm doing a magpie for Hazel because one of the first drawings I did of her, I gave her a pet magpie when I was just doing fun sketches in the corner of my homework for college. Plus she likes jewelry in there. I like to steal shiny things, so I think that's a good mix. Here is whoop, a hazel. Now I'm gonna go look up some pictures of hawks real quick and pick one at random for Griff. I think this one's a good one. Okay. It was kind of a strange angle that this reference picture was taken at, but I think it'll work. Totally didn't disappear for a bit. Well, thank you, Lando. That's very kind of you. Something about a duck. Russ is so goofy and off-putting to me. That's fair. Let's move up here where there's a bit more space. Okay, we need to size it down a bit. And it looks like Kiwi Run for Russell. That kind of suits him. Brother, I'm not gonna lie to you, the hawk's foot looks like a little monkey hand. Listen, I'm going off of a reference picture. This is how it's standing. Take it up with the hawk. The other one's got a claw out. Bird Griff looks so cool. That's good. I found one that has a darker top of the head feathers. I don't know the right word. And that felt good since Griff has that triangular pattern on the top of his head. I'm curious, what stream do you feel like Marshall's search history has taken the most toll from? Marshall can answer this too. That's a good question. If not this stream, then probably the previous alternate universe stream. Crest, thank you, Crest, for the top head feathers. Oh, that's right. I did have to look up the symptoms of Black Death for one of them. And like Chimney Sweep and a bunch of other kind of strange searches. Cute. Okay. Now let me look up a picture of a kiwi, because all I remember is that they are round, and that's it. That is about it, actually. Yeah, they're pretty much just round with legs, sharp face. Very much like the fruit. And he's gonna be staring down the camera. Existential dread of being turned into this strange creature. But he would look kind of similar to Beatrice, so maybe that would be nice for him. Okay. Let's give it some texture. I googled it and found exact reference photo you were probably trying from. I bet it has a green background. It does have a green background. Yeah, I kind of just went with the first. This one was just staring right down the camera and I was like, perfect. I don't know how to show that this one is Russell. Like, Hazel has the spots, the necklace, Griff looks angry. That's kind of all I got. There's not a ton I can really do with this beyond that I can think of. Depict crimes. Okay, you got it. There we go. He's committing arson. So he's doing crimes. That's the face of a man that just got caught. Okay. That one went faster than I was expecting. But this is probably a good time to be wrapping up. Because like I said at the very start of the stream, I woke up and kind of messed up my neck last night. I don't know if it was how I was sleeping, whatever, but my shoulder's kind of hurting. So I'm gonna stop for now, but let's move these around so we can show them all. Show them all off. The coloration will be able to differentiate them. Yeah, that's true. That's definitely a big part of it. Let's just... so I can see them all line up. These guys gotta move a bit. See if we can. Ugh, this one. My least favorite one. Alright. Those ones are truly awful. Yeah, I didn't make that big enough. Let's add a bit of extra height here. I forgot I made these ones so huge. There we go. And that's all of them. This was a very strange stream, but I think we did some solid drawings here. It was an excellent way to practice trying different art styles, I guess. Yeah, I hope you all had fun. If you haven't read it yet, there's a new page that came out today. And if you want to see next week's page, it is up on Coffee. Why is my canvas so small, size 114 by 1920? Yeah, no, this one is quite large. I think the last height boost was about 8,000 pixels. So it's a big canvas. But as Jasper has asked, he would like me to end the stream looking dead in the eye of this one, which is the worst one there is. And I'm gonna end it here. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.